guessing what's my destiny. Physical force, rituals, orders, lyrical weaponry. Ace and all lames testing me. We don't play jokers. It was 5 push-ups, a book, animals on deck if you know us. I'm from the block, ain't thugging. A crystal or some type of natural something on you to help, block that. So it's just simple things like that, man. And it gets deeper than that, though. But it's like they know about these spiritual tactics.
Because there's sorry to interrupt. Because I was trying to look for more info on the sunflower, but the sites I was looking, I was like, this isn't helping me. So
I wish I had my book because they got like most of the herbs and they magical.
Yeah.
Benefits, but I'm gonna get back with y'all on that. We're gonna get back.
Yeah, we're gonna get it together.
Yeah.
So it's like Hoodoo Heritage Month. So I know a couple of people that I follow. They've been, posting a ton of like root doctors and conjure doctors and stuff like that. And so I cannot remember his name, or if they said his name in the article. But Woodrow Wilson was utilizing his services, and he was in like a huge like meeting with Congress or whatever the setting was, but it was like all these white men, basically. And then all of a sudden, a little like satchel like fell out of his pocket, and he was like, "Oh, it's for like my diabetes or something." Or what did he? I can't remember what he said exactly, but it was some kind of excuse. But really, it was a mojo bag, which was hilarious. And I'm like, "No, you didn't." And everybody else was like, "Oh, okay." But he was on it, so I'm like, they know. And I wish because I didn't think I was going to, like, say that today, but, like, I wish I would, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to honor him, because I'm like, shout out to you.
And that's helping what it is. Out. It's just being more equipped physically, mentally, and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like, just building your macabre up, building your aura, your energy up. You know what I'm saying? So it can help move through the unseen. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's the mission. That's what I'm on. That's the energy I've been feeling as of recently. And the more people I've been running to is just more validations and more confirmations. Like,
yes,
it's crazy.
It's so exciting because I'm like, crazy. I feel like, because there's been moments where I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy, and I'm like, I need someone to talk to, but I'm like, no, I feel so, sometimes I feel awkward kind of talking to some of my friends about it, because it's like, it's a lot, like, especially when we get into like conspiracy theories and stuff like that too, but
that's a whole nother episode. Right? That's a whole nother.
We don't have enough wine for that.
Yeah. We do though, for real. 10 gallons of wine. See,
now that's gonna end up with like both of us crying. Like,
yeah, but yo, it's time though. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's just like we're paying, like a lot of people. I was talking to my mom about this earlier today, and she was just like, it's just like a lot more people are not looking to Christianity, which is something that we've always, kind of leaned on. Southern Baptists represent. That was me. But it's just like, I feel like for me, even as a kid, I was like, it was like the things they're preaching versus their actions don't make sense with what is in the Bible. Like none of this makes sense. None of this correlates. And then all the things that were happening in the world, because I remember when 9/11 happened. So it's just like all of this chaos. So it was like nothing made sense, So I was like, something's off. And I'm like, a lot of the things that we've been taught, specifically with Christianity, it's like, I feel like a lot of it's like hypocritical. Like, and it kind of is.
Learn that they, like they have altered the story so many times from the original Old Testament. Like, so it's like, it's so watered down probably basically at this point, but at the same time it's still power and knowledge, in the Bible. It's just all on your mind state, your mind state and your perspective and the ways to interpret it, you know what I'm saying? And I was heard there's different many ways you can read the Bible, like through astrological stories, and different things like that, metaphorically and different things like that. So it's like, it's all about your mind state when you go into these different things. That's why every religion got a little good and bad, or a little knowledge and little jewels and some dirt. It's all about deciphering and picking out like what is actually truth. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's kind of interesting because someone brought this up before, but like we look at Jesus as if what he was able to do was unobtainable. You know, like essentially what I would equate what he did for Lazarus was like Reiki. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's what, and it's stuff like that. And he talked like it was like the 7 houses, but the 7 chakras. Like he's mentioned that paying attention to things with your third. I think he said third eye specifically, or something like that.
Like that, and meditation or something like that.
Yeah, meditation.
Like Jesus spoke these things, so, you know. So it's like.
So it's like we're not learning that. Like we're not learning meditation, which is very important. Yeah. You know, very important to our well-being, especially in a society that's extremely stressful and, you know, money hungry. Like it's all over the place. But it's like Jesus talked about it. We never learned about it, except we learned about, you know, how it was a sin to damn near do anything. Anything. So like, you know, look at somebody crazy, it's a sin, you know. Somebody lustful. Ooh, lustful. You look at somebody lustful, it's a sin, you're going to hell. But it's just like,
nah, man.
It's wild. But it's just like people are like paying attention. It's like none of this makes sense. You know, none of this makes sense at all. And I think I feel like I definitely started to really pay attention, like when I was in high school, and at the time, since I was from the South, like I didn't really understand like gay culture and stuff like that.
You said gay culture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I'm like, they're just normal people, you know? And I'm like, how can you send this sweet person to hell for being gay? You know, like none of it makes sense to me. And I view as like sexuality is very differently, or just like sensuality, you know, like all of it very differently than what we're being taught, you know, like it's very important. Like all of those different aspects are very important. It's like,
no, I'm not against, you know, nobody that's gay or nothing, and I've known people who's gay and all that, but like I do know that there is an agenda to feminize the black male, though. You know, I do know that in different.
We might have our first debate.
I'm telling you, I know that. I don't know, like, cause it's like, if you can feminize the black male, that is the protector of the black people. And of course, we know the women can protect us as well and hold it down. They are warriors. You know, we ain't saying that, but it's like the male is supposed to be looked at as the protector of the people. But it's like the shit that they doing, like the way they are psychologically and mentally getting the youth with all these motherfucking hip hop and artists, motherfucking wearing dresses, getting their fingernails painted, and doing all this shit, trying to validate that this shit is cool, you know, on all of our people. Like, nah, they don't push that on no other culture like that, but our culture. Validating men wearing dress and shit like that. And if you look into, I don't know if you ever saw like that old Dave Chappelle interview with Oprah.
I don't know why that's not coming to mind. When I think Dave Chappelle, I think Prince. Like that's
exactly. Bro, I've been watching all recently.
Pancakes.
Like bitches. But yeah, but he was saying like
I can't.
All the actors had to be put in a dress. You know, like all the black male actors had to be put in a dress at some point in time. But like,
in their career, just in their career for whatever reason. What do you mean?
Like, at some point in their career, if they wanted to go further or do, you know, you had to be put in a dress. It's like most of the people that he was seeing had to go through that. Or like some type of gay scene or something in the movie. So it's like, I don't know. What you think?
For me, I think of it as a ton of different ways. First, I do get what you're saying, how it's almost like forced.
Right.
That's
what I'm saying.
And yes, I definitely get that for sure.
50-50. So I'm not saying like, because it could be like on a different level. You know, just like, not that. You know what I'm saying? But I know on this physical level, when we go through, I know it's kind of forced on the people. You know what I'm saying? It's forced on the people. So it's like, for those who actually are genuine and are like that, it's kind of like, dang, which is hard to decipher which is which when you got the people trying to force it on you and actually people who are of that and just trying to live that, just be that and be accepted and be loved. You know
but it's also weird, like they, the rappers that wear dresses and stuff are accepted, but you find someone randomly on the street, you know, in a dress, or as a perceived male in a dress, and it's shunned. It's so weird. So it's like a
That's
weird, like, none of it makes sense to me. Like, you're gonna push this agenda, but then you're against. So it's just like, what? This doesn't.
I'm trying to validate it for like one specific group of people. So like, nah, yeah, that's cool for y'all to do.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't feel that either.
But it's like, I also understand that, because I personally don't feel like I remember my dad was like very against like manicures and pedicures and stuff, and I'm like, think about how like awesome that is, like, for self-care, you know, for the women who go and get it done, you know, like it feels good, you know, and it's nice. So just like things like that, like, why not pamper yourself, or pamper that fit, you know what I mean? So like sometimes that's looked at as gay, which I'm like, you should be allowed to pamper yourself. I ain't
never done it myself, but like I wouldn't mind getting my feet taken care of or something. Like, damn. Hit them points down there, hit a couple pressure points, get my shit right.
Because it's like, you ain't got to get polished if that's not something you know, into. But it's just like, I do feel like men should be able to, because sometimes it's just looked as it is. Ooh, words. God, the wine. It's viewed as gay, which doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, you should be allowed to pamper yourself. And if you did want to kind of connect more with your feminine, which I feel like everyone has like a masculine and a feminine, which we'll get into that in a sec, right, but it's just like, people should be able to express themselves however they choose.
Barrier or boundaries? Like,
I don't think there should be. Like, I feel like we're on this earth. 2020 has been like, y'all know what the fuck it's been like. It's happening. So it's just like, you should be able to do what you want, like, you know, like, I just feel like, do what you want, you know, as long as you're being safe and consent, you know, making sure you're not doing anything weird. But also I feel like everyone has like a feminine and masculine energies within them. So like, the masculine is the provider, the feminine is, you know, paying attention to your emotions and your intuition. Right. So it's like, you are really like becoming balanced when you're able to do both of those things. But it's just like, I feel like people should just, and I'm like an art kid too, so I'm like, I've seen it all. Like, exactly, right. Like, I've seen it all, and I'm like, I just feel like they always have fun, they always look good. Like, you know, I feel like they should just, people who are in the queer community should just be able to do what they want, or not even queer, just like, if you want to wear something that's cute, put that bitch on.
Means,
put it
I
on.
ain't shining that. Like,
yeah,
I ain't stopping nobody from being them. I'm never saying that, but it's like, just me personally and how I feel, like,
hey, I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's just me. That's just my opinion and how I feel about it.
Like, you wouldn't do it to yourself.
Black
woman
is just too beautiful for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and tuning into like the feminine side, like as far as like creativity, you know, not afraid to say what's on your heart and your emotions and shit. Like, you know, those is ways in tuning into your feminine side. So it's like, when you say that, and you don't have to be like, oh no, like, I don't feel like I have to have sex with no man to tune into my feminine side.
No, it's literally like, what are you attracted to? Yeah, it's like.
And you know, me personally, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's what, you know, I feel there's ways to tune in, but not to where you have to go too far. I mean, and that's just me. That's like what I like.
Hey, I mean, that's your opinion. That's what I attract to, you know, and that's just what I like, my energy. So it's like, everybody do, you know, what makes you happy. But at these time and days, seeking balance, seeking love, seeking self, seeking purpose, seeking your mission, man, that's the main point, right? Yeah, for sure. Then making sure that we're like taking care of each other.
Exactly.
Because I think the way like society has kind of shaped us, like, you know, people are always wearing like headphones and not really wanting to be bothered, right, you know, so it's like, but before we, you know, at one point we could, you know, say hey to somebody, our neighbor or something like that, but now it's just like, it's so much fear in like interacting, which is weird. Because I'm like, there are times for me where I'm like, I love to be by myself and chill. But then there's other times where I'm like, I want to go do something.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes you want to get out there. So
yeah. So it's just like, you know, whatever you're feeling like. But yeah, I mean, you know, you're definitely allowed to have your opinion. I just think coming from someone who went to art school where like, people's hair color changed all the time. You know, people were
that.
transitioning and like, you know, finally like feeling almost like a sense of peace within themselves, you know,
and that's what it's about, though.
Yeah, finding and so I'm like, if that's what you need, do it. I'm all for it. Whatever truly makes you happy, like I'm all for it. Because I just feel like life is hard enough, and having to deal with, I guess, hiding a certain part of you is hard. And I feel like people would people who are not in the queer community can also agree with this, like hiding, you know, your feelings away about how you feel about, you know, what someone did to you, like not really being honest about that, you know, or maybe it's not the time, you know, something like that, you know, not being honest with your feelings, not being honest with yourself. So it's just like, we gotta take the time and, you know, do what we want, be creative. I'm like, I feel like that's what we're on this earth for. Like, make it fun and, you know,
right. Like
fun and exciting. Do what we can. Love. I think, and it's crazy. Someone posted on Snapchat, and it was a clip of, they did like a Jimi, which I don't know how I haven't seen it, but they did like a Jimi Hendrix documentary, I guess, or movie, and Andre 3000 is playing it, which I'm like, casting perfect, like perfect match.
How old is Jimi Hendrix?
Huh?
How old is Jimmy?
What you mean?
Well, okay, Jimi Hendrix. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. See, you see it.
I was
you
thinking
see
of
it.
Lenny Kravitz for a minute. Like,
no, Lenny's too light.
Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny's too light skin.
Like, why would...
No shade, but like he's just.
That's dope.
See, but I need to find the movie. But he was essentially talking about love and how that's the one thing that we need to focus on. And he's been, you know,
especially
people have been preaching that since the beginning of time. And we've gotten so far away from that, and it's like, it really, you know, I just want people, and including myself, I'm talking to myself as well, just loving right, yourself.
Because, like, at a time and place we in now, it's not about, like, I mean, it is to an extent, but it's not more so, like, what you believe in, what... It's just more so about, like, we all feeling hurt and pain and, you know, these type of things at different times, and feeling alone and feeling we got to console these things with ourselves. Like, if we can depend on each other, man, you know what I'm saying?
It depends on each other, but then also, like, you know, we're at a place where we can depend on each other, and then we can also use someone else for strength. You know, we have...
Exactly, and that's what that is.
That, yeah.
You know, just... anything through life, though, just having that support system, having you know, that tribe or that family or somebody that, you know, to fall back and talk to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the type of time, you know, that's what I've been feeling as of lately.
Peace and love. That's definitely very important.
We're probably gonna wrap this one up. It's so much more that we can get into. You know?
This is just episode 1.
Yeah, so we y'all gonna see Nandi a little bit more. Tribe TV, you know, November. So hopefully we get the whole clique up here. Shout out to Caron and Trish, you know. And that's it though, man. On the spiritual tip. Jay-Welch, Radiating Realness, that's always felt. Here with the special guest.
Yes, and I'm Nandi. Hit me up. Love to talk. So definitely hit me up.
Yeah, so we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Peace and love.